dementia cafes are very near to people's homes, so it's easy access because, as Tom said, you may lose the ability to drive, you may live on your own, so you need to get these resources on your doorstep via health centres, church halls, anywhere, very, very local libraries that's easy reach, so you'll know that you've got support there.
And it should be well advertised locally that there is a dementia cafe here.
Yeah.
Because after my diagnosis, I went for months, as I said earlier, looking for someone with dementia to talk to. And I never saw a sign for a dementia cafe or anything like that. And what I would have given at the time to, you know, to have just walked into somewhere and felt, I don't know, needed, wanted, looked after. So yeah, Dementia Cafe obviously is quite a powerful tool.
One of the issues that I think that there is that once you've been referred by your GP to see the specialists, and you have the scans and checks and the rest of it, x-rays, all of the things, and all of that goes back, it seems to come to a stop. I think that the GPs really need to be targeted to identify groups like this. And maybe it's our fault for not letting them know anyway. We ought to be into the GP areas and saying, right, you've got dementia people on your list, refer them to this particular group or that particular group. And that way encourage more groups. Because we've all gained a lot through working together, different experiences we've had. But I think it's more by luck than design.
Yeah,
we've actually got there. So I think really the biggest target to aim for is the GP surgery. And they should be told about these facilities and encouraged. That should be the next step. Once they've had all the scans and everything's definitely confirmed, that should be the next step. Go to get help with these groups, and we will help you.
Well, I think that should start from Elizabeth House. That's your first contact.
Can I just say, Elizabeth House? Yeah, Elizabeth House is the local memory clinic for those who don't come from Medway.
I first found a leaflet.
I mean, just to the point that you're saying, I mean, as you know, only just over half of GPs even bother to diagnose Alzheimer's. So, and all the GPs in the country, I think it's true to say, have been given a book about how to survive with Alzheimer's and what you need to do on that. Very few of them give them out. If they do, they run out. They don't bother order anymore. So it is a real struggle. So just as a supplementary to what you were wisely advising there, is there a stage almost before that it seems to me that there needs to be someone not unlike a Macmillan nurse? If you're diagnosed with cancer, you know there is someone who can give you advice and take you through all the difficulties that are there, who has their experience. And it seems to me that before even you get to dementia cafes and so on, there needs to be someone you know you can go to who understands what you now need to do. And I'm wondering whether that isn't really the priority, and who can then lead you, because without that, you don't even hear of these things. You don't know where to go, it seems to me, but
No.
I've not had Alzheimer's, so I don't know.
Well, you know, I found a leaflet in Elizabeth House, the memory clinic, for the Parkville Cafe. I phoned them up myself and asked them what it was all about. But I would have liked someone from Elizabeth House to have then, this is the number you need to talk to, and she'll advise you where to go. That didn't happen.
Another question.
Our experience is very similar to this. We're from Westmoreland, so our local place is Battery House, and exactly the same thing happened there when Alan was diagnosed. It's then a cut-off point, you get nothing else, and that's the point when you really need the information. You need the information of where to go. I phoned Alzheimer's Society and was sent, you know, a massive pile of books about Alzheimer's, which, you know, there's no way I'm going to read through them. It was a waste of their money to do that. But it didn't tell me what was available locally, where we could go. It wasn't until we got allocated I'm not sure if he was a psychologist nurse, but he was Mark Kitchenham, came to our house because Alan was having a lot of difficulty accepting that he had Alzheimer's, and he was the person that pointed us in all the different directions, because it just seems as though the help is all over the place. You've just got to collate it and find out what part of it is useful to you. And some of the parts that we haven't covered today that Alan is involved in is the Crossroads scheme that, again, is a really good resource for people with Alzheimer's. Alan has Crossroads 3 hours a week. A gentleman comes and takes him out, and he also attends a COGS group on a Monday for 5 hours where they work on all the different parts of the brain, and that for Alan has been invaluable, and actually his scores have gone up in the last year rather than down. They were trending down, and in the last year that he's been attending that COGS group, his scores have actually gone up slightly on his mental test. So I think the COGS group is really great, and that's so beneficial. I think because they're really hard to get onto. There's a massive waiting list. There are hundreds of people on their list waiting, and that's run by the Crossroads. I think they're a charity that help people with Alzheimer's.
Any other
Sorry, can I
questions?
just like to have a little say? Because I'm getting left out here. In answer to this gentleman's question about where to get information from or how to get information to people quickly enough, with the help of Katie and the Alzheimer's Society, I visit the Maidstone Memory Clinic and talk to people that have just been diagnosed. And initially, we were talking to people, just people that had been diagnosed, which worked. I mean, it was good, but we actually found it was better to talk to people that had just been diagnosed and their carers, because obviously the carers pay more attention and don't want to put us down or anything, but they pay more attention and remember more than what we do. And that's quite successful. We get a lot of, because obviously, the same as all of us, once you're discharged from hospital, that's it, and you don't know where to go. You're not told to go to the Alzheimer's Society or Crossroads or anywhere. It's very fragmented, the information, and you've got to collate it all yourself. So the idea was that we started a group called Maidstone Mentors, and as I say, we go to the hospital however often that they have a group of people that have just been diagnosed, and talk to them and just reassure them that, I was diagnosed in 2009. In 2009, so I mean, I've been knocking along for a few years now, quite nicely. So it gives people hope that, tomorrow they're not going to be gaga, unless I'm one of the unlucky ones. But yeah, so but this is local. This is just the Maidstone Alzheimer's. What do you call it?
Memory clinic.
Yeah. So but to get something like that rolled out into other areas, would be good.
Midway do, because I
Yeah.
And I think one of your other colleagues is hoping to do it in the Sevenoaks area, am I right? Tunbridge Wells. So I think people find it really valuable to don't they?
I would have liked that myself.
Yeah, see, I
never
never read
did.
that. Yeah,
I would have
yeah.
liked that, yes.